Welcome back to the Cast. You have your OGs this week with you. It's Justin.
And Nick.
How are you guys doing? I hope you all had a wonderful New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're back with a pretty special battle report. I thought that people enjoyed Nurgle, and people have been talking about the Glottkin a lot.
The Glottkin is the big centerpiece that everybody really wanted for Nurgle, and then most people have been hating for Nurgle.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of on the it's overpriced, and it seems a little overpriced.
It's definitely expensive.
Yeah, but we'll see. We're going to try it out tonight. I went with a Mortals heavy list that I'm hoping can highlight his abilities.
Sure. And I've been playing dragons lately, so I stuck with that theme.
Yeah, you did.
Full-on dragon list. I built the strongest dragon I could come up with. It just turns out it's in Soulblight with a whole bunch of traits and buffs and artifacts and all kinds of things in the Legion of Blood. So
it's a paragraph.
It is a paragraph. We'll take a while going through the list.
Well, why don't you tell them about it?
All right. So, like I said, I've got a Legion of Blood list, and my general there is a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and he has got all kinds of buffs on him. I've got Mannfred and Neferata. Mannfred's got Fading Vigor. Neferata has Decrepify for their lore spells, and then I've got that Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. He's got the artifact of Soulbound Garments that's going to give him +1 to save. He's got the lore spell of Flaming Weapons. He's got the mount trait of Fetid Miasma. He's got the Martial Expertise, which is new from the White Dwarf for Legion of Blood. He's going to get +1 attacks on the Death Lance from that. And he's got the command trait of Aura of Dark Majesty. So he's got just about everything you could put on a single model. And then I've also got a Vampire Lord on foot. That's an Arcane Vampire Lord, so he's going to have +2 to cast and +2 to unbind for his first spell per turn. And I've got Gorslav the Gravekeeper as my last hero. Those 2 foot heroes allowing me to take a Warlord battalion, so that Vampire Lord on foot has also got the Orb of Enchantment artifact, which is a really strong one from Legion of Blood that lets me shut down an enemy hero on a 3-up in a combat phase. For my units, I've got 2 units of 20 zombies, 1 unit of 10 Direwolves, 1 unit of 10 Graveguard, and then I've got 3 Fellbats rounding out the list.
So my list is going to be a Blessed Sons Nurgle list. I really wanted to try to highlight the mortal side, specifically Blight Kings with the Glottkin. So I have the Glottkin. His spell is going to be Blades of Putrefaction. He also has the Abundance of Flesh spell, which gives mortal units an extra wound. So I think that he'll mesh well with my Blight Kings that I'm bringing. I also have Morgoth's Demon's Spew. I feel like the Maggotkin Lords were probably the things that got the best buffs out of the Maggotkin book, so I'm really excited to get him on the table. And then I'm bringing a Lord of Plagues as my general. He's going to have the Splithorn Helm, which will give him a 4-up ward, and he also has Pestilent Breath, which is just the greatest command trait that they've made. It's enemy units within 7 can't issue, and I think it's enemy units wholly within 7 can't receive command abilities. So he gets in there, he can buff up the Blight Kings, and then he shuts down the opponent. So I'm hoping he works out well. Then I just have 3 units of 5 Blight Kings and a unit of 3 Nurglings. The Nurglings are going to kind of deep strike and hopefully generate me some contagion points so that I can be summoning stuff later in the game. All the Blight Kings are in Hunters of the Heartland, so I think it's a total of 21 models I'll have going, 113 wounds against Nick's Big Bad Dragons, so we'll have to see how this one goes. Nick, are you ready to have some fun?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So today we are playing the Vice. The Vice is typically a slower battle plan. There's 4 objectives that start in the very corners for each side, and instead of playing on the width, you are playing on the length of the table. So you start 24 inches away from each other, and the objectives start in the very corner, and I believe it's at the beginning of battle round 2 that they move into the quadrants. and then in the beginning of battle round 4, I believe they moved to the direct middle. So you start slow, you're far away from each other, and then all of a sudden it becomes a bloodbath later in the game. So it's pretty fun. Otherwise, scoring is as usual. So I don't have a lot of models to chap up the board, so I've kind of split my strength. I'm keeping a couple of units of Blight Kings near the Glottkin, so I can really take advantage of his command ability, throwing stuff into hopefully stuff that Nick wants to charge. And then Orgots is pretty self-sufficient on his own, but I wanted to balance that with the Lord of Plagues, and Lord of Plagues needs to have at least one unit of Blight Kings next to him to properly utilized. So both are just touching the 6 inches so that I'm on my objectives. So yeah, that's my deployment.
The slow nature of games on the Vice meant that I really want to just kind of hold back, let things develop, and then I'll be able to go forward and strike once the opportunity is good. I know that the Nurglings are probably going to come in, deep strike into my territory, but because the territory extends fully to the middle of the board, I don't feel like I can really effectively screen out the entire territory. They're just going to come in, and I'm aware of it and accepting it. My Grave Guard and 1 unit of zombies I deployed into the graves so that I can deep strike them, particularly the Grave Guard. I want to be able to deep strike them. And then I just wanted to tag both objectives, get my center of strength in the center of the board so that I'll be able to fight over the middle later.
Sounds good. I finished my drops first. I'm going to give Nick the first turn. I want to just kind of control the turns as much as I can. I'm not even sure that I care about doubles as much with the Glottkin, but we'll see how the game develops.
Good luck, Justin.
Good luck. I'm going to roll on my Wheel of Corruption. So the Corruption is going to start on 3, which is the Burgeoning. At the start of your hero phase, roll a number of dice equal to the number of the current battle round. For each 4+, receive 1 extra contagion point. So this is going to be at the start of my hero phase with Nick going first. I won't have to worry about it for a second.
Alright, for my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Ferocious Advance. I was expecting to go first, so I set up my monsters such that I can get a good Ferocious Advance, and I don't want to overcommit during this first turn into a potential double. And so I'll take Ferocious Advance. I'm going to, for my heroic action, attempt to get an extra command point with Mannfred. And with a 6, I do.
I'm going to attempt to get an extra command point with the Glottkin. I will not.
Okay. I'm going to immediately use that extra command point that I got from Mannfred to use his command ability, his aura of +1 to hit, +1 to wound. I'm then going to spend 1 of my command points with Neferata to put up her aura of -1 to be hit. And we can get into casting. My Vampire Lord on foot is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. For his first cast per turn, he's got +2. And so he's going to get that on an 8. I'm going to put that on Neferata. Neferata is going to attempt to cast her Dark Mist spell on the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. And going to get that with a 6. That's going to go on the Vampire Lord, and the Vampire Lord is then going to be immune to Rend. Mannfred is going to attempt to cast Arcane Bolt. And going to get that on a 10. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to attempt Flaming Weapons. And going to get that with a 7. And that's going to go on the claws of the vampire of the zombie dragon. And with that, we can get into movement. So not the most exciting of turns here. I'm done with movement phase. I don't have any shooting except from the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and he's out of range here. And I don't have any charges to make. So overall, pretty quiet turn. I would have the option to deep strike one of my units in, but I'm going to refrain from doing so. I'm just going to close out the turn here and collect my command point, or my victory points rather, from holding the objectives and from my Ferocious Advance, which happened with 3 monsters, and so that's going to give me a total of 5 points. And we're going to have bottom of 1 Nurgle.
So at the beginning of my hero phase, because of the wheel, if I get 1 dice. If I roll 4 up, I'll get an extra contagion point. I will. So I'll start with 1. I'll get 1 from the Ficulent Narmoth for 2. I'll get 3 for having models on my side for 5. And then because there's no units of Nyx in my territory, I'll begin with 6 contagion points. So then my battle tactic will also be Ferocious Advance. I'm going to pick Orgots, the Lord of Plagues, and my unit of Blight Kings. I'm going to then, for my heroic action this turn, I'm going to take, try to get an extra command point on the Glottkin, and I will.
For mine, I'm going to go for an extra command point on my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and I will.
Into my casting, the first ball I'm going to try to attempt with the Glottkin is going to be Fleshy Abundance. I need 7. I'm going to get on a 9.
I'm going to attempt to unbind that with Mannfred. He's going to roll, and he will unbind that with an 11.
I'm then going to try Blades of Putrefaction. I'm going to get that on 10.
Okay, and I'll attempt to unbind that with Mannfred as well, and that will go off.
That's going to go on my front unit of Blight Kings right here.
Sure.
Into my movement phase, my movement was to move kind of to the center of the board, anticipating that Nick is going to attempt to get into me this next turn. Hopefully I'll get to use the Glottkin's command ability, kind of dictate who's actually making these charges. I got the Nurgles wholly into Nick's territory. If he wants to go and deal with them, I'm very happy for that. So that was my turn. I'm going to score 1 point for controlling 1, 1 point for controlling 2, and then another 2 for completing my...
For completing your battle tactic?
Yeah, I completed Ferocious Advance.
Okay.
For 4 total points.
And then we've got a priority roll for round 2. And this is often how the Vice plays out. These first turns are a lot about movement and positioning. I've got a 4 to your 3, and I'm going to give you the turn.
Sure. So there's 2 things happening at the start of this. The wheel is advancing 1, so that means Nick will not none of his heroes will be able to carry out heroic actions or issue the rally or inspiring presence commands. And then at the beginning of round 2, the objectives also move to 11 up from the sides and 15 in from the ends. So for my battle tactic this round, I feel like I'm fairly forced to take Monstrous Takeover. I need a monster to hold an objective this round. And then for my heroic action, I am going to attempt to roll an extra command point on my Glottkin. I'm going to get it. Hero phase, I'm going to start off by trying to cast Fleshy Abundance, or Abundance of Flesh. It's going to go off in an 8.
I'll attempt to unbind that with my Vampire Lord on foot, who has +2 to unbind. And that's going to go off. I got a 7.
I'm going to put it on the front unit of Blight Kings.
Sure.
Then I'm going to attempt to cast Blades of Putrefaction. I'm not going to get that one. I believe that completes my hero phase, so I'm now going to move into my movement phase. At the end of my movement, I'm going to spend all my points to summon on a unit of 10 Playbearers. Basically, what I did with my movement was I wanted to set up a lot of layers for the Glottkin to send into Nick's units and also try to protect him. It's very helpful getting that contagion point randomly from the wheel, because it did allow me to get the unit of 10 Plaguebearers in my second turn rather than in my third. Yeah, I mean, I guess I left myself a little bit open behind if Nick wants to deep strike something in, but it's a little bit of a long charge, and I won't be terribly upset about it. That's going to complete my turn, actually. I'm not going to attempt any charges. So that will be my turn. I will have completed my battle tactic for 2. I will control 1 and I will control another, so I will get another 4 points for this round.
Into the bottom of round 2, then we're each going to get 1 command point. For my battle tactic this turn, I'm going to take Monstrous Takeover, and I'm going to select Neferata. You've got a heroic action?
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'll try to get an extra command point with the Glottkin. I will.
Okay. Without the heroic action, I've just got 4 command points to work with here. Hopefully I can get something done with those. I am going to spend 1 command point for Mannfred's aura and 1 command point for Neferata's aura. Into my spell casting, I'm going to first attempt Flaming Weapons with my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. And he's going to get that on an 8.
That's fine.
Mannfred is going to attempt to cast Fading Vigor. Fading Vigor going off on a 7. I'm going to put Fading Vigor onto the Glottkin. Neferata is going to attempt to cast Decrepify. And that's currently going off on a 6.
I will try to unbind that. It's unbound.
Okay, no Decrepify. Mannfred is going to attempt his War Scroll spell, which is a Mortal Wound area of effect. And that's going to miscast. So he's going to take D3. He takes 3. He's got 6 ups.
But he's going to ignore 1 and then get 6 ups.
Yeah, so, well, he ignores after.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't block any of them with the 6 ups, but he does ignore the first one per phase, so he's just going to take 2. Neferata is going to then attempt her War Scroll spell, the Dark Mist, and that's going to go off on an 8.
I'm going to attempt to unbind that one. Nope.
Okay, and that's going to go on the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. The Vampire Lord on foot is then going to attempt Mystic Shield, +2 to cast, and that's going to be an 11.
You're good.
And that's going to go on to Mannfred. And with that, we can get into movement. Here in my movement phase, I just pushed forward with a couple of the monsters and dragged Neferata back. I feel really good about the durability of the Zombie Dragon when he's on a 2-up on Red Dual save. And so I'm pretty content throwing him in and starting to hopefully take off some Blight Kings at least. Mannfred obviously can be up there and get some work done. And the Graveguard I did bring out of the grave so that they've got their attempt at a 9-inch charge. And because of the monsters that I'm bringing in, hopefully they'll be shielded even if I don't make the charge here.
At the end of movement, the Glottkin's going to spend his command ability. So he's going to issue it, and he's going to issue it on the front of the unit of Blight Kings that have abundance of flesh.
And the Glottkin must also attempt to charge, but doesn't need to move, so the roll can be meaningless. And of course that is very consequential here because it denies Mannfred's ability to charge into anything else, and the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is much more devastating with that Death Lance when he does get the charge. And both Mannfred and the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon get 1 disease point at the end of the movement phase after that charge. So after movement phase then we'll get into shooting. And the Vampire Lord can only shoot into the unit that he's engaged with, so his shot is going to go into the Blight Kings there. So his Pestilential Breath attack, I roll a die before making the hit roll, and if it's less than or equal to the number of models in the target unit, it automatically hits. So if I get a 5 or less, it automatically hits, and it does. So auto hits, wounds on a 2, yes, and then the rend on this one is -3 onto the...
So it's going to go right through.
Okay. The damage is D6, but because of his mount trait, I get to re-roll this. But I'll take the 6.
Yeah. So I get 6 disgusting resilience. So 5 ups. Didn't need 1, so it's just going to kill 1 model. I'm going to roll 5 dice because of the Plague Bearer that died, or the Blight King that died. This will do. Give disease points on 6 ups for 2. And that's just going to go into Mannfred.
Into Mannfred. That's all my shooting, and we can get into charges then. Mannfred and the Vampire Lord are locked into combat. My biggest charge here probably is going to be the Graveyard. I'll attempt that one first. And with a 6, they will not be making it in. I'm going to spend a command point to attempt to reroll that one, saving my triumph for now. And they will fail it again on a 7. Neferata is going to attempt to charge, and she's going to get in on a 10. And that's all my charges. At the end of the charge phase, I've got a few monstrous actions to do here. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon and Mannfred can't use any monstrous actions against the Putrid Blight Kings because they're Hunters of the Heartland. That leaves just Neferata against the Nurglings, and she is going to stomp on them. I'm 2-up, yes. 2 mortal wounds.
2 5-ups. Made 1 this one, got 1 wound on.
Into the combat phase, then, my first activation is going to be with Mannfred, and he's going to put all of his attacks into the Putrid Blight Kings.
I'm going to spend a command point to give myself all-out defense.
Sure.
Down to 2.
So Mannfred then has Geist for his attacks. This is going to be 4 3s and 3s, but they're down to 2s and 2s, but because he's +1 to hit and +1 to wound on everything because of his command aura. So 2s and 2s, 3 hits, and 3 wounds at -1.
These will be 4-ups. I made 1.
Okay, D3. Going to be 1 damage there.
1 more. I just made 1 of 3.
1 damage and 3 damage for 4 total.
4 5-ups. Made 3 of them, so 1 wound more.
Okay, the Sickle Glaive, 2 2s up, 2 2s and 2s. That is 1 at -1.
Get 4. I made it.
Okay. The Ebon Claws, currently at 6 attacks on 3s and 2s. That is going to be 5 at -2.
This will be 5 5-ups. I made 1.
2 damage each.
So I'll eat 5-ups. I made 2, so that will be 6 damage going through.
And then the Spectral Claws and Daggers, these are going to be on 4s and 3s, but really fishing for 6s for mortal wounds. It's going to be 1 mortal wound and 1 hit. 1 at no rend.
Sorry, 1 at no rend?
Yep.
This will be a 3-up.
And then the 1 mortal wound.
5-up.
So he killed what, 1?
Yeah, and because he wasn't within 1, he's not going to explode.
Sure. So you're activating the Putrid Blight Kings here?
No. I'm going to put 5 into Mannfred, and then I'm going to put 10 into him.
Okay. Mannfred will be on a 2-up base, and then the Zombie Dragon is on a 2-up unrendable.
So first the 10 onto the Zombie Dragon. 6s are going to do a disease point. So you're going to hit on 3s. Is it -1 to hit him?
Yes, he's -1 to be hit.
Okay, so 2 disease. So these are only hitting on 4s. So would you mind taking that up there? And then these will wound on 3s. So 3 wounds.
3 wounds, normally a -1, but these are just 2-ups. Gonna make all 3 of those.
And then the 5 attacks into Mannfred. 6s will do a disease point. None, but 3 hits. 3 wounds, -1.
Okay, the -1 will bring, will cancel out his Mystic Shield, so these are gonna be 3s. And gonna make 2 of those.
It's just 1 damage, so he'll ignore it.
Okay, well, on a 6-up, he'll take it, but then ignore it from the Armored Temple off. I'm then going to attack with Neferata. She's going to put all of her attacks into the Nurglings. So Neferata's got 5 attacks with Akhmet Har. These are going to be on 2s and 2s, normally 2s and 3s. And that is going to be 4 at -1.
They go right through.
1 damage each.
4 5-ups. I didn't make any. It's going to be a Nurgling.
Just 1 damage each, yeah. And then Akin Seth, 2 attacks, 2s and 2s. Both hit. Both wound at -2.
Go right through.
2 damage each. Total of 4.
4 5-ups. I made 1. That's going to kill another Nurgling.
Okay, and then 6 attacks with the Abyssal Talons. These are going to be on 3s and 2s. And that is 3 at -2.
Go right through.
6 damage total. 2 damage each.
6 5-ups. I saved 3, but I think that will be just enough to kill the last guy.
Okay. And then I believe the only remaining activation is going to be the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. He's going to be +1 to hit, +1 to wound from Mannfred's aura. So his Death Lance doesn't get the bonus on the charge, but he does get 1 extra attack because of the martial expertise that he has. So this is going to be 4 attacks on 2s and 2s. That is going to be 3 at -1.
This would be 3 4-ups.
Okay.
Oh.
2 damage.
2 5-ups. Both go through.
Then the Snapping Maw is 3 attacks at 3s and 2s. That is 1 at -2.
5-up. Nope.
D6 for 2.
I passed 1, failed 1.
And then 7 sword-like claw attacks, and these are on 3s and 2s. These do have flaming weapons on them. That is going to be 5 at -1.
This will be 5 4-ups. Minimal.
Well done.
1 Blight King died, so on 6-ups, he'll do disease points to the zombie dragon. Just 1 more.
Yeah, 1 more disease point on the zombie dragon, and that is the end of combat. The disease points will tick up on Mannfred and the Vampire Lord. Mannfred is going to be able to heal D3 wounds that he's taken because of the hunger. He killed a model. He's going to get 2 back. So he's back up to full.
And now I'm going to roll 5 dice. 4-ups are going to do mortal wounds onto the zombie dragon for 0. And then 4 dice onto Mannfred. 4-ups for 3.
Okay, 3 onto Mannfred. He's got his 6-ups. He's going to take all 3, but he's going to ignore the first one of the phase, so he's just going to take 2 damage.
I have 2 command points left. I'm going to use 1 from the leader to auto-pass Battle Shock on my 2 Blight Kings.
The durability of Nurgle never ceases to amaze. I was able to get a couple of my monsters into that 1 unit of Blight Kings. They did have all-out defense up from Hunters of the Heartlands protecting them from Roar, and so they just took it. And the fact that the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon was not getting the most effect out of his lance really helped out, so the Glottkin charge there did have some impact. Just consistent Nurgle theme of wading into a unit and then being stuck there.
Yeah. I mean, it's 250 points of a unit, so I mean, I wouldn't expect it to normally survive, but definitely taking away your charge bonuses was huge.
Yeah. Oh, for my victory points there, I completed my battle tactic, having Neferata sit on an objective, and I hold 2, but I don't hold more, so it's going to be a total of 4 points. And yeah, our priority roll for round 3. And you have the choice.
With this priority, I'm actually going to choose to give away the priority to Nick. Reason being, I still Fleshy Abundance up on those 2 Blight Kings. He's stuck there. Those guys aren't going to do a ton of damage to Nick to begin with. I also got some more chaff with Plague Bearers and units of Blight Kings to even chaff up Nick some more. So I guess, yeah, that's why I'm giving it away.
Sure. So we will have Soulblight, top of 3.
Yeah, so the cycle is going to be Noxious Revulsions. It's subtract 1 from charge rolls for enemy units that do not have the Nurgle keyword. Enemy units that do not have the Nurgle keyword cannot finish a pile-in move closer to the friendly Nurgle unit than they were at the start of the move.
Interesting. Alright, for my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Broken Ranks, and I'm going to pick that unit of Blight Kings that's currently engaged with 2 of my monsters. Hopefully be able to take those off. It is interesting that normally this would be a very safe combat, but the Glottkin can bring in reinforcements into this combat even though it's on my turn, so that's definitely an interesting wrinkle to his command ability. And then for my heroic action, I do get 1 this turn, and so I'm going to try to get an extra command point with Mannfred, and he's going to fail to do so.
I am going to make the Lord of Plagues a wizard for the turn.
Okay, so you include an unbind from him. I will spend 1 command point for Mannfred's aura, and then we can get into spellcasting. The Vampire Lord on foot is going to attempt to cast Amethystine Pinions, has a +2 to cast. Going to get that on a 13. So he's got extra 6 inches of movement. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to attempt Flaming Weapons, and going to get that on an 11. And that's going to go on the claws again.
Yeah, you're good.
Mannfred is going to attempt his War Scroll spell, and going to fail that with a 4. Mannfred is then going to attempt to cast Fading Vigor, and going to get that currently on an 8.
So that's Manfred's last?
Yeah.
And then she's got 2?
He's got 2, yep.
I'm going to try to unbind that with the Lord of Plagues. I will not.
Fading Vigor is then going to go on Orgots. Neferata is going to attempt to cast Dark Mist, her War Scroll spell, and going to get that on a 10.
I'll attempt to unbind with the Glottkin. Nope.
Okay. She's going to put that on herself. And then Neferata with my last cast is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. And going to get that with an 8.
Nope.
Okay. And she's going to put that on herself as well. And with that, we can get into the movement phase.
I'm going to redeploy the Plague Bearers.
At the end of the movement phase, then I'll deep strike my remaining unit of zombies onto the board, and I'm just going to get them as close to the middle as possible to help contest this objective when it comes down.
At the end of the movement phase, the Glottkin is going to issue his command to the unit of 5 Plague Bearers that are
5 Blight Kings.
Blight Kings that are closest to the Graveyard. This will be a 6-inch charge needed, and get it on a 9. Because of where my Wheel of Corruption is at this turn, what I'm just going to do is tag in these gentlemen and limit how many Nick can get in.
And all the disease counters tick up here. Into the shooting phase, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to shoot into the only unit he can, that unit of Blight Kings. So on a 2 or less, he's going to auto hit, and he does not. Now he's got to actually hit, so on a 3 he's going to miss. Into the charge phase, I've got just 1 meaningful charge to make here. The Graveguard are tied up into combat now. The Dire Wolves are tied up into combat now. Glottkin really doing some work there. And so it's just going to be Neferata making her charge. And she's going to get an 11-inch charge here. My monstrous rampages then, the only one that applies here is going to be Neferata, and she's going to attempt a roar on the Glottkin. And that is going to fail.
The Glottkin is going to attempt his Mountain of Loathsome Flesh. The reason that he can do this to Neferata is it's not stopped. So on a 2-up, he'll do 5 mortal wounds to her. And he will.
5 mortal wounds. She's got her 6-ups. And she will take all 5. The combat phase here is going to be a lot uglier than I wanted it to be because the Graveguard are in a position where they really can't get any effectual attacks. Because of the cycle of corruption, they are not able to pile in. And that charge from Justin means that they are just tagged into combat and not able to pile in. So I'm only going to get a couple of them to attack. Now, I still would like to attack first with them probably, but if I attack first with them, then the Blight Kings are going to be able to pile in and really clean house on them. So I'm not going to do that either. Instead, I am going to attack first with Mannfred.
And at the beginning of the combat phase, the Lord of Plagues has an ability, any Blight King's unit wholly within 12, they can give an extra attack. He's going to put it on the unit that is closest to the graveyard.
Sure. So I'm going to attack first with Mannfred then, and going to put all my attacks into that unit of Blight Kings.
Orgots counts as a general because he's a War Master, so he gets a free command point per turn. I'm going to measure to see if he can issue all-out defense to this unit of Blight Kings. He's well within range to do so. So he's going to use this free command point for the turn to do that.
Sure. Mannfred then has 4 attacks with Geistboar. These are going to be on 2s and 2s. All of them hit. And 3 of them wound at -1.
These are going to be 4-ups. They made 2 damage.
D3 damage for 1.
5-up. Nope.
Then 2 attacks with Sickle Glaive, 2s and 2s. 2 hits at -1.
2 4-ups. Made 1 this one. Damage.
2 damage.
2 5-ups. Made 1 this one. One guy's got 2.
Okay. And then 6 attacks with the Sickle Glaive, or with the Ebon Claws rather. These are 3s and 2s. And that is going to be 4 at -2.
These are going to be 4 5-ups. Made 1 damage.
2 damage each.
It's going to be 6 5. Feel no pains. I made 1, so it's going to be 5 damage. It's going to kill 1. He's going to explode. This will be 5 6-ups. He'll do 2 disease points to your Vampire Lord.
Okay. And then the Spectral Claws and Daggers are going to be 4s and 3s. It's going to be 2 hits and 1 at Norval.
This will be a 3-up. I'm going to attack with the Glottkin. I'm going to spend my last command point for all-out attack. So Gurk's Tentacles, first it's going to be just 4 attacks. These are 2s and 2s. 3 at Norm, or essentially Norm.
What is the normal red?
It's 2.
Okay. So she ignores the red. She's currently on a 2-up. And going to fail one of those.
It's 3 damage.
3 damage. So 3 6-ups. She's going to take 2.
She's at 7. And then the Lamprey is going to be on 2s and 2s as well. It's 1 6. All hit. This is another disease point. Just 1 wound.
2-up. Made it.
And then I'll side. There's going to be 4 attacks. 2s and 3s. That's 2 more disease points. They do 3 at whatever, -1 run.
3 2-ups. Made all those. I'm then going to activate with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. So the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon has 4 attacks with the Death Lances. These are currently on 2s and 2s. All hit. That's going to be 3 at -1.
So it's 3 4-ups. I made 2 damage.
2 damage.
2 5-ups. 4 once he's got
3 Maw attacks on 3s and 2s. Just 1 hit. And 1 wound at -2.
5-up. Nope.
D6 damage. 6 damage.
I made 1 2 3. He's dead. So it's going to be 6 to roll back at him. It's 3 more 6 disease points there.
Okay. That caps him at 7. And it is your activation.
I only have 1 unit left to activate with. I should have probably activated with that lone Blight King, but I wanted to hopefully table Neferata a little bit. So it's going to be 6 attacks from that lonely Blight King going into the unit of Greco. So that is going to be 1 disease point and 4 hits. And then just 1 hit at -1.
1 at -1, 6 up, made it. I've then got Neferata's attacks here, and she's not especially killy against something like the Glottkin, but she does have a potential auto slay, so that's really what I'm gambling for here. She is tabled a little bit. She's taken 7 damage. That's going to affect the number of claw attacks I get from the mount. But we've got 5 attacks from Ahmed Har. These are the ones that I really want to get through, so these are going to be on 2s and 3s. All hit. And that is going to be 4 at -1.
So it'll be 4 or 5 ups. 2 go through.
Okay, and then your 5 ups.
Just 1 each.
Yep.
1 goes through.
1 goes through. That's all that needs to go through for the Dagger of Jet. So I'll take that. Aken Seth then, 2 attacks on 2s and 3s. 1 hit, 1 wound, -2.
6 up. Nope.
2 damage.
Both go through. He's at 3 so far.
Okay. The Abyssal Talons, I've got 3 attacks left on that. That's going to be on 4s and 3s. 1 hit, 1 wound at -2.
6 up. Nope.
2 damage.
5 ups. Both go through. He's at 5.
And the Spectral Claws and Daggers then are going to be on 5s and 4s. 1 mortal wound. And 1 at no end.
This is a 4. Nope. So then 2. Made 1. He's at 6.
Okay. 1 activation left in the combat phase then. Or actually a couple meaningless activations. The Dire Wolves activate. They can't pile in to get any closer to make attacks. The Vampire Lord activates. He can't get any closer to make any attacks. And then the Graveguard are going to activate. And I just have 2 of them in range to make their attacks. It's going to be a total of 4 attacks. 3s and 4s. 3 hits. 4s to wound. And the 6 to wound is a mortal wound in addition. So it's going to be 2 at -1.
So it'll be 2 5 ups. Didn't make either.
Okay, so a total of 4 damage from the attacks and then 1 extra mortal wound. So 5 coming through.
I made 1. So that will kill 1 of my journal. I'm actually going to do the one that's closest.
Makes sense.
So that he pops. This will be 4. It's going to be 1 more disease point.
Okay. At the end of the combat phase, then, disease counters are going to tick up across the board where appropriate.
So this is going to be the Relentless Attackers. So I have a unit that's within 3 of a unit, and it has 3 or less wounds in that unit. So I'm going to roll 4 dice, or for each roll that exceeds the enemy's wound characteristic, that unit suffers 1. So these are all going to be 2 ups. So I made 3. That's 3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds. They've got a 6 up. And they're going to make 1 of those, so that's 2 dead Graveguard.
And then do you want to do your thing?
Yes, and then probably the most consequential roll of the battle here. Neferata, because she inflicted wounds that were not negated with her Dagger of Jet ability, on a 5 up, the Glottkin is going to be slain. And he is not. Also, at the end of the combat phase, Mannfred killed the model, so he is going to be able to heal D3 from the hunger and going to get back 1, which is just going to remove a disease point. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon also killed models. He's not wounded at all, but he still gets to heal D3, and it's going to remove disease points. He's going to remove 1 disease point.
So then we're going to get into my thing. These are all going to be 4 ups. We're going to start with Neferata.
So these are disease rolls?
Yep. So we're going to start with Neferata. These are 4 ups. She's going to take 3.
Okay. 3 6-ups. And she's going to take all 3.
Then I'm going to roll the one on Mannfred. No. I'm going to roll the 6 on
the Vampire Lord on
That's
Zombie
going to
Dragon?
be... That's still only 5. It's going to be 4.
Okay. 4 6-ups. Gonna pass one of those and take 3.
And then I'm going to roll the 4 on the Graveguard. This is the one I really would like to go off. 3 onto them.
Okay. They've got their 3 6-ups. And gonna fail all 3 of those.
And then I'm going to put the 2 onto the direwolves. 2.
2 6-ups. And they will take.
Battle Shock. I can lose future Blighting on a 6-up. I'm fine.
And I will lose a Graveguard on a 6. I'm fine. So I completed my battle tactic, which was broken ranks on those the Putrid Blight Kings, and I did it with a monster, so that's going to give me 3. I currently control 2 objectives, but I don't control more, so we're going to have a total of 5 points there. And that'll bring us into the bottom of 3 Nurgle.
So into my turn, first we're going to do contagion points. I'm going to get 1 for my Feculent Narmal, and then I'm going to get 3 for existing. I do not get any more, unfortunately, so I'm at a total of 4. My battle tactic for this round is going to be, I'm going to do Bring It Down on Neferata. And then my heroic action this turn will be to see if I can get a command point on the Glottkin. I will not get another one.
My heroic action here is going to be Heroic Recovery on the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Got Under the Bravery for D3. Gonna heal for 2. And that's just gonna remove 1 disease point and then heal for 1.
I also have my Locus of Fecundity on my for my Allegiance ability. So that is gonna heal D3 wounds to the Glottkin, I believe. He's gonna heal 1. He's at 5. Into my hero phase, I am going to first attempt to cast Abundance of Flesh. It's gonna go off on a 7.
I'll attempt to unbind this with Mannfred. And I'm gonna block it with an 8.
He's then gonna try to cast Blades of Putrefaction. It's gonna go off on a 9.
Okay, I'll attempt to unbind that with my Vampire Lord on foot. He's got +2 to unbind. And so I'll tie that so it goes off.
Nurgle's kind of weird. A lot of the spells are not wholly within, so this is just within 14, which my Glottkin is within 14. So he is going to put it on the unit of 4 Blight Kings that's currently fighting the unit of Graveguard. I am then going to go into movement. Into my shooting phase, the Glottkin is locked in combat with Neferata. He's got an attack. He is not tabled yet. He's going to have 7 attacks, 3s, -2 round. No 6s. Oof, just 1.
1, she ignores any rend, so it's a 2-up. Made it.
I'm then going to go into my charge phase. The most important charge being here with Orgots. He's going to get in on a 7.
Okay. I am going to unleash hell with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. So first off, if I roll a 1, this will auto hit. No, so I now need to hit normally. On normally a 3, but -1 to hit for unleash hell. Need a 4, and I'll fail that.
Into my monstrous actions, I'm going to do Mountain of Loathsome Flesh. I really need a 2 here. I got it.
Okay.
That's 5 more.
5 mortal wounds on Neferata. She needs a bunch of 6s here, and she is dead.
Orgots is going to try to roar. Oh, I don't think that's needed. He's going to Titanic duel with your Vampire Lord.
Okay. And my Vampire Lord is going to attempt to roar Orgots, and going to get a 4 there.
Start of the combat phase, the Lord of Plagues will issue his ability onto that unit of 4
The
Blight
Vikings?
Kings. Yeah. And Orgots is roared at. He's not going to be able to add anything to his attacks, but he has Titanic Duel, and he is currently unwounded. Fading Vigor will subtract 1 across the board from his attacks.
And my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is -1 to be hit.
Okay. That's going to cancel out with his +1. So this is going to be 6 attacks instead of 7 with his row taxes. This is going to be 3s and 3s. 2 disease points. And 2 wounds at -1.
2 at -1. So I couldn't use all out defense here, but the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is at +1 to save base because of the Soulbound garments. So at the -1, we're going to go to 3 up. And going to make both of those.
Then Orgots is going to have... He's got 5 Monstrous Claws attacks. These are going to hit on 3s and wound on 2s. Brutal. Just 1 wound at -2.
1 at -2 is going to go to a 4. Going to make it. I'm going to activate with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon and put all those attacks into Orgots. Still can't pile in here any closer. So 4 attacks with the Death Lance. These are going to be 2s and 2s because of Mannfred's command ability. All of them hit. And all of them wound at -1.
These are going to be 4-ups. That was 4, right?
Yeah.
He passed all but 1.
2 damage.
2 5-ups. Passed 1. He's got 1 damage on.
Okay. 3 snapping maw attacks, 3s and 2s. 2 hits. And 2 wounds at -2.
These are going to be 5-ups. Did not pass either.
D6 damage each. It's going to be 8 damage.
8 5-ups. I passed 1, 2, 3. He's going to take 5 more damage.
Okay. And then still top profile on the sword-like claws. I got 7 of those. These are going to be on 3s and 2s. That is going to be 2 at -1.
These are going to be 4-ups. Pass 1, failed him.
The flaming weapon makes that 3 damage.
3 5-ups. I made 1. I'm going to pile in. So we'll only get 3 guys actually in here. They are going to have 6 attacks apiece, so it's going to be 18 attacks. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 disease points.
Okay. That'll cap them at 7. I don't think they're going to make it to the disease phase.
And 3s to wound. Maybe. So 3, 6, 7 at -1.
7 at -1. These are going to be 6-ups. Going to fail all those and then 6-ups. And going to make one of those that's going to kill the unit. My Vampire Lord on foot is in combat here, but I can't pile in any closer, so he is stuck there, but I will activate him. And then I'll activate the Dire Wolves, of course, and they can't pile in any closer either.
The Future Blight King's ability, it's within 3, and then it's models in that unit within 3. I only have 1. So this will be 3-up, we'll do a mortal wound. Yes.
Okay, 1 mortal wound on the Dire Wolves. They've got their 6-up, and they will take it. End of the combat phase, then disease points are going to tick up.
So we'll start with the Dire Wolves. This is 3 4-ups. That's 2.
They've got 2 6-ups. Gonna pass 1. That is going to kill 1 wolf.
And then the Vampire Lord. Yes.
6-up. Good.
Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Just 1.
6-up. He takes it.
And then Mannfred. Yes. And he'll just ignore it, right?
Yeah, he just ignores that first wound of the phase.
Do you own any Battle Shock?
I do not. At the end of the Battle Shock phase, I will attempt to roll to bring the Graveguard back. Need a 5 up here, don't have any bonuses to it. And they will come back. So a half unit, 5 Graveguard coming back. and they are going to deny you your objective back here.
So due to the 5-up roll that Nick got on the Grave Guard, he'll actually be able to set up on my back objective. So I'm only going to control one objective. I obviously don't control more. I did kill a dragon, or I did my bring it down, and I also did it with a monster, and I killed a monster. So that will give me 5 points for the round. And now we're going to roll for priority.
Got a 3, and you got a 2. And here, going into 4, given that the objective is going to move into the center, and I want to really consolidate my forces in there before Justin has an opportunity to respond, I've also got a potentially vulnerable Orgots in front of me. I am going to take the turn here.
Sure. So the Wheel of Corruption is going to move 1. It's going to move into Rampant Disease, which just means when I roll for my disease points, it's now going to be add 1 to those rolls. So we'll go off on 3s instead of 4s.
So for my battle tactic here in the top of 4, I'm going to select Bring It Down, and I'm going to designate Orgots. For my heroic action then, I'm going to attempt a heroic recovery on Mannfred. And he's going to succeed at that, and heal for 3, which is going to remove his disease point and heal him to full.
Orgots is going to do best day ever.
Sure. The Vampire Lord then is going to designate the Dire Wolves to attempt to heal them. Going to heal D3 and going to get back 2 wounds worth, which is going to bring back 1 Dire Wolf. Into casting, I'm going to attempt first Mystic Shield with my Vampire Lord on foot. He's +2 to cast. So he's going to get it on a 9.
You're good.
Okay. I'm going to put that on the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to attempt Flaming Weapons. And going to get that on a 10.
How many do you have left?
2 casts from Mannfred left.
I'll let it go. That's fine.
And that's going to go on the claws of the mount again. Mannfred is then going to attempt Fading Vigor. And that's going to fail on a 5. And then he's going to attempt his War Scroll spell. And that is going to fail on a 4. In the hero phase then, Mannfred is going to use his command ability for his aura. And with that we can get into movement phase.
So of course I'm going to do the Glottkin's ability. I'm going to charge with the Plague Bearers first. They're going to get in on a 9.
Killing the Orgots here is going to be more challenging than it feels like it should be. Mannfred got locked out of combat again. The Glottkin's command ability is really just an absolute MVP. And so gonna have to take him down with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Shooting phase, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to shoot into Orgots.
He's going to use his free command point for +1 to save here.
Okay, so you're using all defense from Orgots here on the shooting?
Yep, it's just free.
On a 1-up, it'll auto hit. It does not. Then hits on a 3, but hits on a 2 because of Mannfred. Hits wounding on a 2. It will wound. That's at -3.
-3. Orgots is +1, +2, so this is going to be a 4-up. Nope.
Okay, and this is D6 rerollable. Rerolling 2.
2 5-ups. This both.
I'll take it.
He's at 10.
I don't have any charges here to make, so I'm just going to get into monstrous actions. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to attempt to roar on Orgots.
1 or 2.
Got it. And then Mannfred is going to stomp on the Plague Bearers. Got it. They're going to take D3 for 1.
1 5-up. Nope. Oh, 1 of them's got 1 of them.
And it is then your monstrous action.
Yeah, I'm going to Titanic Duel. I think that's my only option, right? I can't stomp anything. I don't need to roar.
Yep. So we can then get into the combat phase.
I'm going to pick this unit of Blight Kings with the 7-fold Slaughter.
Sure. I'm then going to activate first with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon and put all of my attacks into Orgots.
He only has 6 wounds remaining, but he is +1 because of finest hour.
Okay. The roar there really consequential to keep you from continuing to increase that save. So, due to Mannfred's aura, he's got +1 attacks on the Death Lance. It's going to be 4 attacks. These are going to be on 2s and 2s. It's going to be 3 hits and 3 wounds at -1.
These will be 3 hits. Oh, brutal.
2 damage each.
Need to make some 5-ups. He's surviving on 1 wound. Ugh.
And then the snapping maw attacks on 3s and 2s. 2 hits. Just 1 at -2.
This is going to be a 4-up. Pass it.
Okay, the sword-like claw attacks, 7 of these on 3s and 2s. And that is going to be 4 at -1.
This will be 4 3-ups. Come on, roll hot, baby. All but 1.
And that is going to be 3 damage because of the flaming weapons.
No, he's dead.
Okay, he's going to kick some disease points back, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be 14 6-ups for disease points back. He'll take a total of 3.
Okay, 3 disease points.
So it's my turn to attack. I'm going to attack with the plague bears. I'm going to get 3 into each, and my leader is going into Mannfred. Any minuses here?
Yeah, you've got -1 to hit the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon.
First, the 4 into Mannfred. No disease, but 3 hits. And then just 1 wound.
1 wound, no rend on Mannfred, 3 up. He'll fail it. 6 up for, and then he'll ignore the first damage of the face.
And then this is 5s. 2 hits, no disease, and no wounds.
Okay. My next activation then is with Mannfred. He's going to put all of his attacks into that unit of plague bears.
I'm going to all-out defense these plague bears.
Sure. So Mannfred's got 4 attacks with Geist 4, 2s and 2s. All hit. All wound 4 at -1.
4 6-ups. Oh, I should have.
Just 1 went through, D3. 2 damage.
2 5-ups. Made neither. I'll kill 1 and then 1.
Sickle Glaives on 2s and 2s. That is going to be 2 at -1.
2 6-ups.
2 damage each there.
Made 1. That will kill 2.
The Ebon Claws, 6 3s and 2s.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. It's just going to kill 1 and then put 1 on another.
That is going to be 3 at -2.
These will go straight through.
2 damage each.
6 5-ups. Didn't make any. That's going to kill 3.
And then the Spectral Claws and Daggers on 4s and 3s. Each of these 6s is a mortal wound, so 2 mortal wounds and 1 at no rend.
2 mortal wounds and 1 at no rend.
That's correct.
This will be a 5-up. Oh. Has 2. We'll kill another.
Your activation.
I'm going to activate with the unit of Putrid Blight Kings. So it's just going to be 6 attacks, doing disease points on 5s and 6s. So it's just 1, and then 1 hit, and then just 1 wound at -1.
1 at -1 on the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. He does have Mystic Shield on him right now, so this is going to be on a 2-up. And he's going to make it. I'm going to activate with the Dire Wolves. 2 of them are going to get in. It's going to be a total of 4 attacks on 4s and 4s. It's going to be 3 hits. 1 at no rend.
This will be a 4.
Here you go.
I don't have anything.
Alright, my zombies are in range to pile in and fight. I'm going to pile in this unit of zombies here. They won't be able to get in to attack, but they're within 6, so they're eligible to pile in. And so I'm just going to use it as an opportunity to move more bodies onto the objective here. My other unit of zombies is also eligible to pile in, and I'm going to do that. They're within 6 here. I'm just going to use that to get the few remaining bodies onto the objective here that we're done, and really make it very difficult to shift me off. And that's going to be the end of the combat phase. Both Mannfred and the Vampire Lord are going to benefit from the hunger here. The Vampire Lord is going to heal D3 for 2, and that's just going to remove disease points. And likewise for Mannfred, he's going to remove that 1 disease point that would be accumulated also at the end of the phase. So then going to tick up applicable units.
I have 2 Blight Kings within range of the direwolves, so 3 ups here with the mortals. That's just 1 mortal.
Okay. They are no longer in range for deathless minions, so they're not going to get a 6 up here. It's just going to be 1 wound on 1. And so, yeah, into the battle shock phase, we've got disease rolls to take.
So we're going to start with the direwolves. These are going to be 3 ups. Will be 2.
So that's going to kill this one and put a wound here.
And then the Vampire Lord, I would really like to do all 5 here.
These are on 3s, right?
Yeah. I got 4.
4, pretty good. 6 ups. Gonna block 2 of those, take 2.
And the Vampire Lord. He's gonna get 1.
One on the Vampire Lord on foot, needs a 6. Nope, he'll take it. Battle shock here, your Plague Bearers?
Plague Bearers, I did lose 6 of them.
No penalties.
3, nothing on that.
Okay. So there's only 1 objective on the field. I do control it, so that's going to get me 2, 1 for control 1, 1 for control more. I got 3 points for my battle tactic because I completed it with a monster, so that's 5, and I did kill a monster, so that's going to be 6 for the round.
It's going to make it very hard to come back.
And we've got bottom of 4.
So this turn I'm going to take Slay the Warlord. I'm going to obviously pick Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon.
Sure.
And then I'm going to choose Finest Hour on my Glottkin.
Okay. I will take Finest Hour on my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon.
I'm going to count up my contagion points. I will get 1 for the Feculent Narmaw. I will get another 3 for existing on my side. So it'll bring me to 8. The Locus of Fecundity is going to go off. So the Glottkin's going to heal D3. For 3. He's going to go down to 2 wounds. Okay, I'm going to cast Blades of Putrefaction first. It is not going to go off. I'm then going to cast Mystic Shield. It's going to go off on 11.
I'll attempt to unbind that with the Vampire Lord. He's got +2 to unbind. It'll go off.
He's going to do it himself.
Sure.
Into movement. Into shooting, I'm going to put my shots into the Vampire Lord.
Sure.
So the Glottkin is going to spend a command point here to actually all-out attack here. So it's going to be 7 dice. So these will be on 2s and 2s. It's 5 at -2.
Okay, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, effectively at +3 right now because of his artifact, the Mystic Shield, and his Finest Hour. There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
So these are going to be on 2s. And going to fail 1 of those.
It's just 1 damage.
1 damage, 6 up. I'll take it.
And then into my charge phase. I'm going to first roll the charge with Glottkin. That's most important. I need a fairly big charge here. 6 is not going to get it done. I'm going to re-roll that. I got a 12.
12 will do it.
Alright, I'm going to charge with those Blight Kings, obviously.
Sure.
I'm going to do his Mountain of Loathsome Flesh on a 2-up. It'll be 5 more.
5 mortal wounds, 6 ups to ignore. Going to take all those. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to roar at the Glottkin on a 3-up. Yes. And then Mannfred is going to stomp on the Plague Bearers that he's in combat with on a 2-up. Yes, for D3 for 3 mortal wounds.
3 5-ups. Make 2.
Okay.
The Lord of Plagues is going to put his special ability on the unit of Blight Kings that's currently strung out to the middle.
Sure.
But I am going to begin with the Glottkin attacks. I won't be able to spend his last command point to give him +1 to hit, but he will be +1 to wound. He's actually going to be -1 to hit here. So his first Gork's Tentacles, he's going to have 4 attacks. This is going to hit on 4s.
2 6s.
And this is going to wound on essentially a 1, but can't do that. So it's 2 at -2.
2 at -2, these are going to be 2-ups. And I'm going to fail one of them.
That is 3 damage.
3 6-ups. And that is going to kill the Vampire Lord.
It's going to waste the remainder of the Glottkin's attacks. But he accomplished exactly what I wanted him to, so I consider that successful.
I'm going to activate then with Mannfred. And he's going to put all of his attacks into that unit of Plague Bearers. So first up, I've got Geistboar. This is going to be 4 attacks at 2s and 2s. That is going to be 2 at -1.
Okay.
D3 each, total of 4.
I made 2. Oh, kill 1 and carry 1 over.
And because Geistboar killed the model, he's now going to have an aura for the end of the phase of +1 attacks for summonable units. It hasn't come up before, but that's going to apply to the zombies potentially. Then you got the Sickle Glaive, 2s and 2s, 1 hit, and 1 wound at -1.
Goes right through.
2 damage.
That's no idea.
The Ebon Claws, he's got 6 of them on 3s and 2s. That is going to be 4 at -2.
4 at -2.
2 damage each.
So it'll be 8 5-ups. That's the unit.
Okay. Your activation.
Bit of a mistake made here. I didn't necessarily think I was going to kill the Zombie Lord on Dragon, so I probably put my buff in the wrong spot. But I'll have 3 guys going in, so this will be a total of 15 attacks going into the Direwolves. And I have 1 command point left that I'm not going to have to use, so I'm going to all-out attack.
Sure.
So this is going to be 15 2-ups. 6s will do disease points. So it's 3 disease.
Sure.
And then wounding on 3s. That will be a total of 7.
7 at -1. They're in cover, so that's going to put them on 5-up. They're going to save 1 of those, going to take 6. I'll activate then with the Direwolves back. And they're down to a unit of 5, so they have the more lenient coherency rules. So this is going to be 10 attacks, 11 because of the pack alpha. And these are going to be on 4s and 4s.
I'll roll.
That is pretty good. 7 at no rent.
This will be 7 4-ups. I made 3. That's 1 each, right?
Yep.
4 5-ups. I made 3 1 1. I'll just get 1 in. He's gonna have 6 attacks. This could be 1 disease point. And 2 wounds.
2 at 1 rend. They go straight through. I've got 6-ups, and they're going to go through. It's going to be 2 damage on one of them. Then I'm going to activate a unit of zombies. So here I'm going to have 6 zombies in. They are +1 to hit, +1 to wound because of Mannfred, and they also get +1 attacks because of his Geist-4 ability. So it's going to be a total of 12 attacks. So normally 5s and 5s going to 4s and 4s, and then 6s here are mortals. Going to be 4 mortal wounds, and just 1 hit that does not turn into a wound. So 4 mortal wounds.
4 fighters. Made 1 that will kill 1. He is gonna explode. We'll do 2 disease back to the zombie.
Sure. And then you've got an activation.
The Lord of Plagues is gonna attack. He has 4 attacks. 3s. And 3s. That's just 2 at -1. D3 damage. 4 total of 3.
3 damage, 6-ups. Gonna save 1. That's 2 dead zombies. Then my other unit of zombies is gonna pile in. So here I'm gonna have 3 into the Glottkin and 1 into the Blight Kings there. The 3 into the Glottkin on 6 attacks. 2 mortal wounds. And then the 1 into the Blight Kings are going to be 1 hit and no wounds. So just the mortal wounds into the Glottkin.
Both good.
Getting it done.
He's at 4.
And my last activation then is the Bats. That's going to be 3 into that unit. They normally have 3 attacks each because they are summonable and Mannfred's aura. So they're going to be 4 attacks each, total of 12 attacks. And because of his other aura, his commando aura, these are going to be on 3s and 3s. That is going to be 2 at no rank.
Into the Blight Kings.
Yep. 2 forms.
Damage.
Just 1 damage.
Pass. At the end of combat, these are going to tick up. I'm then going to do my Blight King ability first. So I'm going to pick the unit of zombies so that I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. So this will be 5 2-ups will kill a zombie. Nope, 3.
3 of them, 6-ups. Gonna save 1, 2 dead zombies.
And then 3 going into the direwolves. All 3 go through. They're good now.
In range of the gravestones now. They're gonna take all 3.
That'll be 2 dead. I then go in to roll for disease points. I'm going to start on from the direwolves. 6 3-ups. 4 will go through.
4 on the direwolves. They're going to save 1, take 3 more.
Then into the zombies, we have. Well, I'll do the Vampire Lord first. Yes.
6-up. He takes it.
The zombies.
This unit.
Yep. Nope. The bats for 2.
6-ups. That's going to kill 1 and carry a wound.
The one group of zombies that should have 1, I'm going to put it on there. No. Mannfred. Yes. 2.
2 on Mannfred. 6-ups. He's going to save 1 and then ignore the other damage, the first wound to the face.
Sure. Then we have some battle shocks.
Yeah, so my dire wolves, I can't auto pass them, and with a 6, that is going to clear the rest of the unit. Reason I can't auto pass them is because of that Lord of Plagues and his command trait. At the end of the battle shock phase, I'm going to attempt to bring back the dire wolves, and I will fail to do so.
I am going to get 2 for completing my battle tactic, another 1 because it was done with a monster, and then an additional 1 because a monster died. So I will get 4 points for that round. If I do not get the double turn here, I will concede. I need to do a lot of work to whittle down these men, and I'm just not in a position if Nick gets to score maximum points here.
Sure.
Oh.
And with the tie, I will take the turn and take the game. Good game, Justin. Maggotkin sticks around. The Glottkin, I mean,
pretty good.
It's expensive. That is expensive. And I think in this list you were having to throw some pretty expensive units into things in order to tie them up. And they did a good job of it, but I think it's even stronger when you're throwing something like 3 Nurglings into something to consume that turn.
Just don't have a lot of my models are Blight Kings, Plague Bears, and Monsters right now. I have 3 Nurglings and a couple of the Demon heroes, and obviously a lot of Mortal heroes, but still kind of waiting to get my plus go Blight Lords and more Nurglings and Beasts of Nurgle.
I think it's really interesting to see what a full Mortal list. You had the Nurglings, but everything else on the table at the start of the game was Mortals, and I think it's interesting to see what they can do, because most emphasis, I feel like, has been on the Demon side with the Maggoth Lords, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake, it was a really good game. I don't think I should have charged Orgots. I think Nick used a little Jedi mind trick on me to tell me to go in with him. I think I would have been better off with him being having Fading Vigor on him, to potentially leave him out. He ended up doing basically nothing to the Vampire Lord and taking 8 back. Now, he did almost tank through the Vampire Lord's counter swing, but if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk, right? So it was a great game. I mean, this is exactly how the Vice works. I mean, there's just a pile on. I think if I could have got a double turn, I had a chance to wipe out a unit of zombies with the Glottkin, and then it gets fairly interesting because I think I can summon another unit. I think your bats are in a little bit of trouble, and the other group of zombies is going to take some pain. But with the fact that I was already down substantially in points, and you were going to get max points here, and with you being able to get a battle tactic at all, that just meant that the game was wrapped, because I can't outscore you by 3. I mean, but if I get a double, I'm in really, I think, pretty good shape.
I think the big swing here was really the priority roll into 4. I feel like with the Vice, you want to be in firm control of the center at the top of 4, and if you are, you're generally in a really good shape. Unless the other side can really clear you at that point, it's uphill sledding, because you're guaranteed to score that in the top of 4, and then they have 1 turn in which to clear you. Otherwise, you're gonna catch it again.
I think Maggotkin are good. I think this is a good matchup to display what the Glottkin can do, because it is so ground based. There's not a lot of shooting. I think shooting could be a weakness for the Glottkin.
If it's close range shooting, he can do the same thing.
Right.
Throw a unit of Nurglings into a shooting unit, and suddenly they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I wonder how well he tanks against, the things we're actually worried about. But
50 Sentinels probably pretty good against him,
and 6 Raptors are probably really nice. That's where his points come in, because you would really like to take Gut Rot the Spume to start pressuring in the back.
Right.
But if you're going to take, I guess I could drop Orgots and bring Gut Rot and then really have a couple more chaff units, but I think Orgots is really good. I mean, he didn't do much this game, but if he tanks there, heals, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the Maggoth Lords are really the winners in the book, right? Orgots, Morbidex, Bloab, to some extent as well. They punch above their weight. They've got a very good saving throw on a hero monster, and their points cost is right where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Right, they're right in that 300 range, 300 to 320, and so they get a lot done for where they're at. Obviously, Orgoth's throwing out the free command points every turn and really being a killing machine when he can get in on something. Now, didn't see it here because he was, the Vampire Lord was sitting on such a high bonus to save. The 2-up base because of Soulbound Garments in Legion of Blood is really impactful, really a strong artifact.
Yeah.
I didn't use the Orb of Enchantment at any point with my Vampire Lord, but that was sitting out there too. I think the buffs to Legion of Blood, people are really down on Legion of Blood. People don't like the sub-faction. And I think it's because they look at the sub-faction abilities, and the sub-faction abilities are poor.
Yeah.
Right. But what's really good in Legion of Blood is the artifacts. And
the
now,
spells.
Oh yeah.
Neferata's got great spells.
Yeah. And when you now give them a little supplemental help with +2 to cast on one of your foot heroes, +1 attacks on your Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, it's enough to carry that faction, I think, into some real competitive situations.
And I think it shows off just the diversity of Soulblight. Soulblight
Absolutely.
has so many options. Like, they're only held down a little bit because shooting is so good right now, and that is their one weakness to their heroes. But other than that, I mean, if you're a ground-based army that has to do damage in melee, they're going to do work on you because they can debuff you, they can put more bodies. You get 3 awesome... In this army that Nick ran today, he had 3 awesome heroes, another good hero that was Unstoppable Caster, and he still had plenty of bodies around. So...
Yeah, the cheapness of the bodies, being able to drop... At the end of the game there, I had 40 bodies that I was able to roll onto the objective, and that was 230 points.
Yeah, it's surprising how elite, but still good in a deep amount of wounds and bodies you give a Soulblight. So if anything does happen to the shooting, if it comes down maybe a little bit, I think we could see a radical development of them. But I think there's a lot of rock paper scissors going on right now, and I wonder how Maggotkin does against the real top meta shooting stuff and against giants, because they don't put out a ton of damage. But they're not going to leave the table quickly, and they're going to be fun. And they're fun. I mean, if you like not removing a ton of models and making life difficult for your opponent, it's a fun army.
They definitely have some chess moves, right? You really showed it off well here earlier in the game. My Graveguard got into a position where they were definitely going to be able to charge into your Blight Kings because they have an automatic 6-inch charge, and because of the Glottkin, because of the Cycle of Corruption where you were able to shut off my pile-in, you just nudged into them, and that effectively shut off their output. And they're such a killy unit, to be able to shut off their output and then fight them on your terms is always a great situation for you. And yes, as you pointed out, there's some good luck in the Cycle of Corruption being on that step, but Sloppity Vilepyper can do exactly the same thing any turn of the game. A summonable hero, doesn't cost much, it's 7 summoning points, something like that, to bring Sloppity on. You bring Sloppity on, throw in a Nurgling into him, throw on some Plague Bearers into him, and they're not doing anything.
As this list stands now, I think it's a fun list. I think you could definitely go 3-2 in a tournament with Mortal Glottkin list, depending upon your matchups. I think the strength of the army right now is really with Plague Bearers and Great Unclean Ones and utilizing the demons more. If there's even a 10% decrease in points across these mortal units, all of a sudden they're right there with them. I just think you saw with my beginning army, I had 21 total models, and it's a little difficult because the Blight Kings don't count as 2 on objectives. They're held back a little bit, but there's so many nice things about the mortal side of the book. Amazing, really good spells, amazing artifacts, great command traits. That's the great part of that side, whereas demons maybe not have that as good, but they have such wound density, and ghouls are really fun right now. And it's a great... I'm really happy with the book. For as much as complaining, I think it's fun.
It feels like it's a strong book. It feels like it's in a good place. It feels like you said, it's in an interesting place in the rock, paper, scissors. I think with the prevalence of giants, and I don't see the prevalence of giants going down too much anytime soon. With the prevalence of giants, it's going to be a tough army to go 5-0 with, because you're likely to hit a Sons of Behemoth on your way there. You're likely to hit maybe some Sentinel spam, something like that. It's going to give it some fits, although I don't think it's terribly positioned to get Sentinel spam. But you're likely to hit one of your bad matchups, and it does have some significant bad matchups. So you're maybe not going to catch a lot of 5-0s, but you are going to have some really good matchups into a lot of the melee threats in the game. Fulminators, if you're running the Glottkin, Fulminators are a cakewalk, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things don't have the volume of output that you need to be able to take out the wound density that you can put out with Plague Bearers. A lot of things are really targeted at killing those giants, and so you've got that damage threshold of getting really consistent 35 damage through. 35 damage does not cut it against Nurgle, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're punching it through on mortals, even if you're punching it through with very high rend attacks, and that's what a lot of armies are doing to bring down giants, even if that's your plan, Nurgle can stand through it.
One thing I've heard a complaint about 3.0 is that games are over at the bottom of turn 2.
Yeah.
With Nurgle, unless you really have something that goes disastrous or you play really poorly, which it can happen, and maybe we haven't tested hard against like an elite shooting list. We're not going to play 50 Sentinels, but maybe we could test against Raptors coming up. You're not going to be done. These guys survive.
You're going to stick around. You're going to have summoning into the late game. You're going to have bodies on the board. Absolutely.
And I mean, it's fun to play deep in the games, and that's what we've seen the last 2 times we've ran Maggotkin, is that we've played deep into games, and if that's something you're looking for, pick them up.
Like I said, they've got a lot of chess moves, right?
Yeah.
You're not blowing people up. You're getting marginal advantages through the course of the game, and you need those marginal advantages. You need to pick up a little bit here and there, because your output isn't going to necessarily keep up, but you just need to hang on and hang on and hang on, and suddenly the disease points really start racking up. The monstrous actions that you have, where you're doing damage in the shooting phase, charge phase, and the combat phase. And
the monstrous actions are ridiculous.
Oh, that 5 mortal wounds on Neferata, 2 of those and she was done. 2 up unrendable save meant nothing against that.
It's so fun to be able to stomp other monsters and just,
and not just stomp, right? A stomp is D3.
Yeah.
5 is so significant.
And you're frequently tabling them, so you're keeping your survivability even better. So everyone, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us in 2022. Remember that you can join our Discord.
Links down below.
And if you do feel like being extra generous this year, Nick has a link to our Patreon page as well.
Yeah, and I really appreciate everyone viewing. The Discord is growing, and that's really exciting for us. We love to see new faces in there, so hope you'll join us for that. And just let us know what you thought of the battle, what we could have done differently, how we maybe could have strategized differently on both sides here in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.